All right, Gary Wilson here. I've got a little random message here for Snooker Loopy. Got the lyrics here. I'm guessing you want us to sing the song. Absolutely, not a problem. Snooker Loopy, not so we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls in a snooker queue. Pop the reds and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy, not so we, we're all Snooker Loopy. Cheers, guys.
Hello and welcome to episode 101. We are above a ton. We are 101 up. My name is Tom Mayhew. This is the Snooker Loopy Podcast, and I am joined as always by the battler from Hastings. It's Joe Hannart.
Well, a very good evening, Hazel, and a very good evening, everyone at home, and welcome to our viewers from across the world for what is one of our favourite podcasts of the year. Of course, we are going to be talking about Q School today. As you can probably hear in the intro, Tom's a bit under the weather, so it's going to be shorter than our usual Q School preview, but I'm sure we'll make up for it with the end of season review that'll come after it. But
do you know what, Joe? Do you know what? I am under the weather, so I might be sort of going muting occasionally if I need to cough. I do have my cup of tea here and all that stuff, but this year I missed the FA Cup final, but as a Chelsea fan, it was pointless anyway. I missed Eurovision, which, as a UK person, was pointless anyway, because I wasn't very well. But I thought, do you know what? I'm not missing the Q School special. This is, in a way, the snooker Eurovision.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, we're going to have representatives from all over the world in this, Tom, and we have got a team-based game, so it could be deux points for some of us, or more than likely nil points for most of our players, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah, literally just before we started recording, Joe said he got the leaderboard up from last year. What did you say, Joe?
I said I better delete all of the teams that we'd picked from last year from our grid. And but Tom said, "Well, most of them will still be there, probably."
We could have done a rollover and seen who was going to do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe next year, Tom. Maybe next year. Maybe we should pick this team, and we've just got to stick with them until they qualify.
Okay. I mean, that could be a tough one. If anyone goes for Tony Knowles, good luck with that.
Yes, I mean, just to give people a little bit of context from last year, I went with David Grace, Ersenbacher, Dick Pipe, Sean O'Sullivan was my team captain, Lee Shanker I went for, Gary Skipworth, Rory McLeod and Andres Petrov. Two of those actually qualified onto the tour again. That was David Grace and Alex Ersenbacher. Tom went for Stephen Wardropper, Anthony Hamilton, Alfie Burden, Richard Binns. William Lemons was your team captain. Nicholas Montreux, Billy Castle and Andrew Higginson. You actually beat me last year, 29 points to 28, despite not predicting any correct qualifiers.
Well, that is the magic of the Q School prediction contest. I almost forgot that Hamilton tried to re-qualify before retiring. That's very rare, isn't it, that someone does Q School and then retires. Usually they seem to either be someone who drops off then retires, like a Joe Perry, or Dominic Dale didn't even drop off, but he just retired. Yeah. Or they drop off and then, well, they, as we'll see later, they just become perennial Q School entries.
Well, exactly. I mean, it is pretty crazy, isn't it? How many people give it a go every single year. And we do tend to get the same sort of people qualifying every time, don't we? So be interesting to see if any of the favourites, the podcast favourites, manage to get back on the horse, if you like. But before we get into that, quite a lot of things have happened in the world of snooker over the last couple of weeks. Of course, since our World Championship review, we had, first of all, the seniors started literally 48 hours after the World Championship ended. And, well, what was your general thoughts of the World Seniors? if you can keep it family friendly, that would be great.
Do you mean I'm not Alfie Burden, mate? Jeez. But yeah, do you know what? Focusing on the positives, what was quite nice about the seniors is that I do feel like it has grown into an event that has entered the mainstream of snooker followers, because like my grandpa was watching it, he's 95, and I don't know how he knew snooker was on Channel 5. He's probably got an old TV Times. That's probably how he found it, really. But
and went, ooh, this is interesting. World Seniors Championship.
he probably thought maybe he'll enter next year. Maybe that's his plan. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan against Ronnie Franklin in the first round. Oh no, Ronnie's gone
Ronnies.
This match is going to start late because Ronnie's gone for a nap. That's fine. That's all right. But you know, it was nice that it's kind of a prominent enough event now that someone like my grandpa can find it and watch it. I don't think he would have known about it when it was on the red button back in the day. I even was following someone in the high street after popping to the post office, and it was a middle-aged woman.
You were following somebody in the high street? I mean,
I was walking home and they were in front of me, and I was following them because I was eavesdropping because they were talking about snooker. All right, it's fine. And it was this middle-aged woman and her dad, who must have been, again, similar to my grandpa, maybe 80s, 90s, in a wheelchair. And she is saying to him, oh, so is the snooker on again this week? And he was going, oh, yeah, it's the seniors. And she was going, oh, right, so is that as long as the last one? Does it go on for as long? And, oh, is Ronnie in this one? And so genuinely, I didn't even hear strangers out in public talking about the normal World Championship, so I was quite surprised. Wow. And I went, well, that means people are aware it's a thing, which I think is very impressive, really.
Well, don't let Jason Francis hear all of this, because he'll let it go to his head. That somehow the World Seniors Championship is bigger than the World Championship, but
it's older. It's older. That makes it bigger, right? The players are older.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once again, it was an up and down tournament. There was a lot of sort of controversy about the quality of the tables. I think they had about 5 hours to turn around the Crucible. I know Jason Francis has sort of been out in the press saying they had to replace the carpet, even though the carpet was only used for 5 days from the Thursday, I guess, up to the Monday, and WST wouldn't let them just use that carpet. Obviously, they went back to a 2-table setup rather than just a 1-table. I think in the past, maybe they've just sort of bought the table off WST and used that table that was used for the World Final. Obviously, changed the pockets and the cloth and all of that, but at least the table itself was in there. So there were littered with problems. I mean, there was a famous clip of Matthew Stevens playing a shot, and when the cue ball hits the red, it literally explodes. Like it bounces almost off the table. That was how far it bounced. And I think the first few days it had all that controversy. It probably ended in a much better fashion, but I think it struggled to recover from such a sort of controversial start, which included defending champion Alfie Burden playing his match in the practice room against Igor Figueiredo, who'd won it the previous year.
Yeah, that wasn't good PR for them. And I do respect Alfie Burden, actually, for being very vocal about it on social media. I know that I doubt Jason Francis would respect it, and maybe it means he'll never be in the seniors again. But I do respect him for actually sticking up for himself, because you know, you do feel like he is the defending champion, to be fair. And for all the seniors, kind of, they kicked off massively when it was, Alfie Burden won't be in the Champion of Champions, and basically kicked off to get Alfie Burden in ahead of Ronnie. But then when it's their event, suddenly they're the ones who are pushing Alfie Burden to the side. So it does feel double standards in that respect. And yeah, the tables, because they did a big thing about, the tables are Riley tables. It's Riley tables back at the Crucible, and it did mean that they had a weird design. I didn't know what you thought of the white tables, Joe.
I wasn't a fan.
It didn't remind you of.
There's something beautiful about the mahogany of a snooker table for me.
I didn't know whether it reminds you of a James Bond white suit, perhaps.
what a white tuxedo. But yeah, I guess so. What we needed is sort of Dominic Dale wearing a completely white, white trousers, white shoes. A bit like sometimes when I'd play with Ronnie and I'd wear one of those ridiculous outfits. We needed Dominic Dale to do that, but he didn't, sadly.
Gutted. We did get one comment actually, and this is technically by YouTube. And it's from Jonathan Ward, who said, "What did you think of the seniors this year? Certainly was eventful. Loved watching Roger Fairbrother versus Carter and seeing them interact between frames and genuinely enjoying each other's company. That was the highlight for me." So there we go. At least one person who wants to see some sort of travelogue with Ali Carter and Roger Fairbrother.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did hear that there's potentially on Pluto TV coming up a travel documentary of when the captain visited Australia with Roger Fairbrother, and that's coming out soon. That's a world exclusive, everybody. Jason Francis has confirmed it himself. He has allowed us to share that because apparently he's a big fan of the podcast, actually, and he has arranged that we can interview Roger Fairbrother in the near future, Tom.
Why are you getting Jonathan Ward's hopes up? He's going to be Googling, looking this up, this travel thing, going, "Oh, I can't wait to watch it."
When the captain went to Australia with Roger Fairbrother. Yeah, but no, it was nice, to be fair. And Roger played pretty well, to compete with somebody like Ali Carter, who has presumably been, in the latter stages of events this season on the main circuit. He's obviously got to the Crucible, played John Higgins, was reasonably close against John Higgins. And, as of a couple of years ago, was in the top 16, winning ranking events. So I think it's pretty amazing, actually, that he competed for that long. We had the likes of Nigel Bond, who came in the last minute, and he very nearly put out, I think, was it Craig Steadman he was playing, but lost on a respotted black due to the 30-second shot clock. He ran out of time and it was called foul.
I don't know if I don't like the shot clock, and obviously all the players you've had the big Smurf 360 coming out and saying it should be added to normal tournaments, and I feel like
not 30 seconds at least. I think a minute I understand, maybe with some timeouts.
Do you know what?
A little bit like, I don't know what sports have timeouts particularly, but if you had 3 timeouts that you could sort of call per frame.
Do you know what I don't like about the shot clock is the fact it's the seniors, and I don't think we should be making players like a Nigel Bond or Barry Pinch's run. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Death at the seniors caused by shot clock.
No wonder Dennis is retired. He's like, "Oh, I can't keep up, Hazel. I can't do it.
Up. Can you get your breath, Hazel?" Because I can't get mine after running around that table.
Oh my god, I'd love to see him running around potterboard and get an inhaler out and go.
Except it would probably be a vape or something, but But there you go. Obviously, Ronnie eventually ended up winning it. Joe Perry did a good job getting to the final. I think he's played pretty well recently, because we'll talk about the Global Championship in a minute, but he did pretty well in that as well. I think it was 6-4 in the semis against Luca Brissell he lost. So, I mean, Joe Perry's clearly still got it in terms of his class. But, Ronnie winning his first World Seniors title, I think it was to be expected that he would win it. But I think it was a lot more challenging for him than it perhaps should have been.
Well, I did message you after watching his I think it was either the first round he played in or second, but understandably he didn't have the intensity that you'd expect from Ronnie at an event, because he probably knew he could coast to the final, frankly. Like, Joe Perry was probably the first player no disrespect to the other players that he beat, but Joe Perry was the first one where he would have gone, oh, I need to focus. I think otherwise he probably saw it as a golden ticket to the final, and probably, a very easy way of getting another title in the cabinet. And, he probably already got 30 grand just for playing, to be fair. So he probably doubled his earnings just by winning the event. So, and it's interesting because now, obviously, with it not being Champion of Champions being a part of it now, I presume it's not a part of it.
I assume so, yeah. Although Champion of Champions is run by Matchroom rather than WST, so I don't know if that'll. I
mean, literally last year we didn't even know until about 2 weeks before the tournament whether it was Ronnie or Alfie Burden, which you'd think if it was a Premier event you'd run it professionally and make it clear. But hey, we're not the guys in charge.
Not yet.
No. But yeah, he did what he had to do. I don't think it was the best standard as an event.
No.
But obviously, Ronnie winning it is good for the event, I presume. Kind of sad for the event as well, because me and Joe are people who we'd happily watch a best of 10 between Dennis Taylor and Joe Johnson. So it's a bit sad that that's never ever going to happen again. Partly because they're getting older, but also because, well, why would they even enter now? Because they've not got a chance.
And even the likes of Ken, he obviously played Ronnie. Jimmy White even, didn't get past the last 16, lost against Rob Milkins. So it is interesting, and as you say, it is a shame for the event, I think. I think part of the charm of it was Hendry playing in it, Jimmy White playing in it, Kirk Stevens potentially being in it. Tony Knowles didn't play this year. How many more years are we going to see the likes of Tony Drago play in it? And it's been great to see the Tornado playing brilliant stuff at times in these World Seniors Championships. The likes of Dominic Dale. Is he going to bother entering it? Because if Ronnie's in it and Mark Williams was set to be in it, we could potentially have most of the quarterfinalists from the World Championship this year playing in it next year. If they wanted to, Mark Selby could play in it, Sean Murphy could play in it. All these players, they could basically just have a rerun of the World Championship for the most part. And it does seem a shame.
I think there's also a big, genuine discussion about how it will affect players' livelihoods, because when you consider someone like an Anthony Hamilton was kind of going, oh, I'm going to retire, I'm just going to play on the seniors. He's gone from being a player who has retired and was probably good enough to win it and get that 30 grand, now to a player who might not even qualify. And for someone like that, who isn't a Hendry, a Davis, or someone like that who can get presenting work, they're suddenly going, well, how am I going to make what was going to be my living? Because for them, they would have gone, that could have been a massive pay packet. Frankly, it could be more than some players earn on the Pro Tour. And all of a sudden, they're going, oh, so before I had to beat Aaron Canavan, now I have to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. And, for those players who've genuinely retired, who the money would have been massive for them, you kind of just massively screwed them over. And you kind of have to feel for them, I think.
Absolutely, but let us know what you think anyway. I think our opinions is we'd like a balance with it. I think the way they had it in the past of people outside of the top 64 can play in it, so you could have the likes of David Lilly in it. Obviously, he won it a few years ago, but then Ronnie, Ali Carter being in it, it's great for the event, for fans, bums on seats, but is it great for the longevity of the event and as you say, fairness on other players? I'm not sure, but yeah, let us know what you think about that. But obviously that wasn't the only tournament that's happened. We've had the Global Championship as well, the Snooker 900. Quite a lot of the big top players were playing in that. Didn't really watch too much of it, and certainly the bits I did see, it was a bit naff, but they did have the likes of Cliff Thorburn commentating on it. They've still got Lee the Shirt commentating on all of it. And they had Billy Castle actually commentating on quite a bit, but once again, Ronnie just sort of steamrolling anybody that was playing. He played Kyron Wilson in the semi-final, beat him 6-4. and then of course beat Luca in the final quite convincingly. I don't know if you watched any of that, Tom. Any thoughts?
I genuinely didn't watch a bowl of it. That's me being honest. I didn't watch any of it just because. Again, I think, I can only speak honestly from my opinion, and obviously I adore snooker. I love snooker, but when you watch it for so much in April and May, watching the World Championships, and then you go, oh, I'm also going to try and catch some of the seniors. Eventually, you have to prioritise speaking to your family and seeing your friends. Do you know what I mean? I don't quite know how people can watch every ball of it when it's so back to back.
Yeah, I do quite. I quite like the 900 format, and I did see a little comment from, I think it was Phil Seymour that had said it actually, that maybe a Premier League style event with the 900 would be great. It's sort of going around the country with all of the top players and playing the 900 format. I think that would be great. I have seen some nonsense comments, and I don't know how much they've been paid to say this, but I think Sean Murphy was saying it and Ronnie was saying it, that Snooker 900 should become the format for snooker. In general, I don't know how much they actually believe that.
I still remember the clip, and it's probably still on YouTube, of Ronnie doing a bit to camera when he's got a ball in his hand and he goes, power snooker, it's the future of snooker. So take it with a pinch of salt. I think a lot of it is someone's given him some money. He's gone, I'll back it. The same way that Saudi Arabia was the future of snooker 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I'd like to see. We've said multiple times we'd love to see the Premier League back, and I think that could be a way of doing it. I just think with the such tensions between Jason Francis and WST, I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's even, it's so petty this, but he's even gone and got some lawyers to look at the contract between WST, the Crucible, and Sheffield City Council for the World Championship, and he's basically found that they haven't signed a legally binding contract to extend it to 2045 yet. So he's trying to steamroller that deal. I don't know what his purpose is, whether he wants to scupper that deal, whether. I have no idea what his intentions are with it. It's really, really odd situation. He's going to get himself in a lot of bother, I think, very quickly, taking on WST. He somehow feels like they've wronged him, and I don't really understand it.
You got to pick your battles, and I just feel like if you're trying to launch something from the ground up and you want snooker fans behind you, don't go after the Crucible. Have you not paid attention to the past few years? If you want them to support your product, they're not going to back it if they go, oh, that's the guy who tried to mess up the Crucible. What are you doing? What a muppet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, thank you for the Roger Fairbrother interview. We can't wait.
We can't wait for it. But in a lot more positive news, Tom. Big Break's back. And of course, it is going to be hosted by Paddy McGuinness and Stephen Hendry. I think perhaps both not anybody's first choice. I think actually I've probably got more problem with Stephen Hendry doing it than Paddy McGuinness. I know he's sort of been seen as the sort of Grim Reaper of BBC classic shows like Top Gear, Question of Sport. I do quite like Paddy in general. I do think he's been on a lot of shows recently. I don't mind him too much for Big Break. I think he'll do a good job with it. But Stephen Hendry, for me, is a very odd choice for somebody in the John Virgo role. Obviously he's a very famous face of snooker, arguably the greatest of all time. But for me, that role in Big Break was the trick shots, was the entertainment, was the boisterous announcements, somebody that's willing to make a fool of themselves. And I don't think actually Stephen Hendry has any of those things. I mean, obviously they might do it very differently, and it might be a very different show to the one we remember. But for me, that was a strange choice. But I'm delighted it's back, and it's a really, really great thing to have back on the telly. I'm just a bit baffled by the selection. It's a bit like Josh Widdicombe being the new Strictly presenter. I don't know if you've seen that today, but
no, I haven't. That is a ridiculous choice. What?
Yeah, so Emma Willis, Josh Widdicombe, they are the new hosts of Strictly. But yeah.
Well, if you want our thoughts on that, please do join us for Strictly Loopy, the additional podcast where me and Joe talk about Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Strictly Chris Wakelin. I nearly called him Quiz Wakelin. But yeah, what are your thoughts about it all, Tom?
Well, just to continue Jonathan Ward's by you, LouTube. I'll get there eventually. He says,
that was pretty good.
That was all right. He says, what are your thoughts on Big Break? There seems to be a lot of negativity towards Paddy, which is what you've just said, but I suppose it depends on their chemistry, but it does seem an odd pairing. And I think that does sum up most people's reaction. I think what I said to you on the day when it was announced was the sad thing is if it was this time last year, then JV would have been the best person to get to play JV. They would have probably just got him back, and it was quite sad. I still would rather have a Dennis or even a Steve Davis or John Parrott.
Or even sort of a rotating second person. I think Steve Davis would be really good. I think
a rotating second person. Do you just want John Higgins doing his spin class?
I think Dennis would be great. I do think he's a bit too old for what they want from the show. He's still got all the trick shots, but I think that's why maybe you could have different players do it. You could have Dennis one week, you could have Steve Davis one week, Hendry, Ken Doherty. Maybe you could have that role sort of rotating and on John Higgins' spin class. And then obviously you've got the three players that come in and play with the contestants, and who knows, maybe Hendry could be one of those players one week instead of being the sort of main host. But hey, we've got to watch it. We've got to see how it is. I'm sure lots of our listeners will probably even be some of the first contestants on there, I would imagine.
If Paul Banksy Banks is not on there, I'll be fuming.
Well, if Tom, Battler Hastings, Mayhew isn't one of the first contestants, I'll be fuming.
Well, there we go. We're all the snooker fans are going to try and get on there, so we will see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, it's interesting because I kind of feel like they must have approached Ronnie, right? And
to host it. You reckon?
To do the Hendry role.
I don't think so. I really don't think. I think Ronnie's way too unpredictable for that.
Yeah, but in terms of a snooker player with a profile, I reckon they must have. And I reckon he would have wanted too much money.
I can't see that anybody with any sense would have approached Ronnie, but maybe you're right. I think they will have just asked around the BBC team of who fancied it. Personally, and they'd have looked at Hendry's YouTube channel and thought, Hendry's quite popular with the young ones. Let's have Hendry do it with Paddy.
Conspiracy time, Joe. Do you think they chose Hendry, and that is why Shaun Murphy doesn't want to work with the BBC because he wanted it?
I mean, that could be a great shout, to be honest. I mean, Shaun Murphy has been very outspoken about how much he wanted to be on Big Break and presenting Big Break. Obviously, it's fantastic news for snooker. I'm really excited to see it back. Applications close June the 8th that you can get on the BBC website. I think me and Tom are definitely going to throw our hat in the ring and try and get on the show, because why wouldn't we? Do you know what I mean? And I would imagine they're not going to be inundated with applications. So you might see us on the telly. You might see us. Who knows? Maybe we'll be on there on the same episode.
I can't get my hopes up too much because I just, when something's so perfect and you just go, oh, please, it would be a highlight of our lives if you put us on there. But, if anyone listening knows the producers of Big Break, we always say this and no one knows anyone. I don't know why we do it.
Nobody knows anybody, and we've just sat and criticised it for 10 minutes. We haven't really criticised it. I think we're just sort of... we're excited to see what they do with it, and I guess like all good TV shows that they bring back for comebacks, you just want it done right, don't you? And I'm sure they will. I think we have seen shows come back after many years out and become some of the most popular things. Now, I imagine that actually, if it's successful, they'll probably get some celebrity ones go in and do it prime time on a Saturday night, like it used to be in the past. So I think that'll be great, and it's really good news for snooker to have that exposure back. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Another bit of positive news, Tom, unless you were going to say something else about Big Break.
Well, just that the only comparison we have is obviously Bullseye, which they brought back with Freddie Flintoff. And for all the online people moaning about it, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was quite a good comeback. I thought he did a good job. Luke Littler was great on it, and it was good telly. So hopefully if they have some of the same people who have that kind of spirit working on Big Break, it can be good telly again. That's all it has to be.
Absolutely. It's not going to hit the heights of the 90s. There's no TV show ever will again. So, yeah, other than The Traitors, which seems to just defy all logic in terms of TV ratings and whatever in 2026. But anyway, today is all about Q School, isn't it? And we're going to sort of motor through the last part of the podcast because I don't want to kill Tom live on camera. But you will remember in recent years, we have picked a team of 8 players to take us through Q School. And much like our sort of our world qualifiers predictions and our shootout predictions, every match that they win will gain us points. And it will double sort of every... well, it won't double. Basically, you get double points if they qualify. You get a clean 10 if they qualify. But and team captains get double anyway. We've got the snooker.org list, which is really, really good. Shout out to snooker.org as well. I know you've been chatting to them on Twitter, was it? Or Facebook?
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
No one uses Twitter anymore, Joe. Come on, Grandad.
Sorry, the Twitter. The Blue Sky. Go on, tell us about your convos.
Well, I asked him if he was going to do this list, because I always like this list. It always is good for us to see a list of these players, how it's formatted, because we can see who the oldest player is, which is Tony Knowles, who's 70, or we can see who the youngest player is very easily. It's Shaun Liu, of course, named after Sean Murphy, who is 15. And it's a really nice list of seeing nationalities and when they first turned pro. So thank you very much to snooker.org, who said that this was one of his favourite snooker podcasts. So really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, no, and obviously every year they run the Snooker Podcast World Cup, and we're always involved in that. Next year we're going to find out earlier so we can rig the voting a little bit more. Yeah, but yeah, obviously, ranging from Tony Knowles to Dean Reynolds, Barry Pinches is in there as well, to some players that we will have never heard of. We are going to pick 8 players to represent us at Q School, and we use the ABBA format, which means person A will pick one, then person B will pick 2, and then A2, and so on until we are finished. We can't pick the same player. So, Tom, since you are feeling poorly and you won last year, you can have free reign of the first choice of our Q School selection.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go, Joe, for player who's just dropped off tour, Gong Chengzi.
Gong Chen Zi. Wow. That's a surprise. Any reason about that?
He's just dropped off tour. His ranking wasn't too far out the top 64. He's only 19, and usually I'm distracted by weird British names or nationalities that don't qualify usually. Someone here is, I'm going for him next. Okay. But usually, like that, I'm usually distracted. But for this, I'm like, well, he's just dropped off tour. He's young. He's part of the, young Chinese players. So why not?
Yes, of course. Got up to rank 76 with his previous tour card, turned professional in 2024. Okay. With that in mind, I am going to go with somebody that I backed at the Crucible, or in terms of qualifying for the Crucible, and that is going to be Robbie McGuigan. He is going to be my first pick, of course, turned professional back in 2024 as well. Got as high as 86 on the rankings. I think it's time for a silly name, Tom. Let's find a silly name in there. Oh, there we go. Eric Nagy from Hungary. Eric Nagy is going to be my my next selection.
I was going to pick Eric Nagy. No.
Well, you should have picked him. Eric Nagy is my new selection from Hungary. He is 20 years old, was born in 2005. So he was born after the release of World Snooker Championship 2005. Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing. I mean, already we've got the Aman Iqbal and Ayan Iqbal. They must be brothers. Are they
like the Hassans.
Yeah, and both the Hassans are there as well. Oh, I mean, if there's ever a tag team world championship, those brothers got to play against each other. Do you know what I mean?
Well, are you going to go for any of the Iqbals? Or?
And Pinches.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Pinches and
Barry.
Luke, I mean, they're father-son. They're different.
Yeah.
No, Joe, I'm going to go.
All the marks as well.
I'm going to go for Gurang Vyas.
Gurang Vyas from an unknown nation.
He could be from anywhere. That's why he's unknown.
He's 49 and nobody knows anything about him. He's playing Labib Ahmed in the first match, and then Anthony Parsons in the second. Oh, sorry, other way around. Anthony Parsons in the first one. But there you go. There's your first player for this round. I mean, this is going very well, Tom.
He's not going to win a frame, but anyway, I picked him because he's unknown. Who else? Who else is a fun? Oh, there's Joe's favourite. He's there. Okay.
Ooh. Is that Dick Pipe?
No, it was Dick Pipe's not here actually. I can't see him.
He's not.
Did you look for him straight away?
I did look for him, yeah.
It was Umut Dikme I saw.
Umut Dikme.
Oh, I can't remember who's picked this guy before, but let's do it. Richard Binns.
Yeah, it was you. You took the Bins out last year. I went for Gary Skipworth last year. Richard Bins. Yeah, Hamilton took out the Bins last year, I think, didn't he? Okay, I'm gonna go for a less silly one here. Although there are some cracking names. We've got O'Shea Scott as well. O'Shea being a first name. We've got Mark Davis, Mark Joyce, of course, former players on the tour. John Snape, which I think wasn't he a character in Coronation Street back in the day? I think John Snape. I think he was a killer, actually. Yeah. So
I was thinking of is he the son of Severus Snape? To be honest, but
no, I think it might have been John Stape actually in Corrie. But anyway, I'm gonna go for Bulshu Revesh. I'm gonna have a Hungarian team, I think here. And that's my second Hungarian, Bulshu Revesh. And I'm going to go for Bradley Cowdroy because I want him to be called the Cowboy.
No, I wanted him as well. I was going to go, come on, Cowdrey. Like,
No,
yeehaw.
Bradley Cowdrey, 24 years old, born back in 2002. Know nothing else about him, I'm afraid. Other than he did play in the WSF Championship last year and got to round 2, where he lost to Kanan Brearley.
Oh, Simon Bevs is there. Simon
Anthony
Bevs.
Wall as well. Yeah.
Oh my God, is he here? No, Andy Neck, where are you, mate? Okay. Well, Simon Bevs, Joe, I think we talked about him before on the podcast.
We have talked about him, the Aussie.
He's entered Q School. How many matches has he played at Q School? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 matches he's played at Q School. He's won 1 frame.
This is the year, Tom. This is the year.
It would be incredible. I'm not going for that. I think that would be a mistake.
Oh, you're not going for Bevsy
No.
this year? Oh. Wow.
Oh, there's 2 players from Latvia. That must be like an emerging snooker country at the moment. Okay.
Well, I never.
2 players from Malta. No, I don't want him. I was going.
I don't want him.
I was going. It doesn't Stephen Lee's son play or something? But it came up with Andy Lee, and he's not Stephen Lee's.
No.
He's a policeman from Hong Kong. He's very different. Okay. Let's go for the Rocket, Ronnie Sullivan.
Oh, he was going to be my next pick. So Ronnie Sullivan is gone. And you got one more pick, Tom.
My next pick, Joe. Oh, God. How many picks have I done so far?
You have got 4, so you've got 4 to go.
Okay, I mean, Billy Castle's there. There's 2 players from Bulgaria. Well, I have to pick one of them.
Eurovision winners, of course.
Absolutely, and I think that win is really going to spur on Arseny Korolev.
Okay. So we've got Arsene Wenger's son there.
Mm-hmm.
Arseny Korolev. And actually, you were very close to my next pick, Tom. And this is my last silly pick of the year.
What?
Anurag Sabu from India.
Sabu.
Sabu, who's going to be Wu Yiza's big rival next year in the Battle of the Woos and Boos.
Oh, yes, please.
But my next pick, and this one's a little bit more serious, only marginally, is going to be somebody that has just dropped off the tour in Sanderson Lamb. Sanderson Lamb. He is going to be in there. Good old Sandy there.
My next pick is also probably far more likely. Robert Milkins.
Hey, Robert Milkins, of course. Class of 95 player. Turned professional 30 years ago. Dropped off the tour this year. It's like the FA Cup, isn't it? When you're picking players out and I'm giving a bit of background about these.
It is, yeah, very much. You're the Peter Crouch of this Q School coverage.
Thanks. I was going to go in more Mark Chapman, but you know.
I mean, you could be Mark Chapman if you want.
I'll take Crouchy.
Oh
God, I know who my next 2 picks are.
I'm going to go to continue the dynasty. Mark Davis.
Mark Davis. Okay, class of 91, I think it was he, Mark Davis. Yeah, 1991. He joined the tour, so he is your penultimate pick, Tom. So my two final picks, and they're both related to Big Smurf 360.
Oh no, that's never a good thing.
I've got Aidan Murphy and Shaun Liu.
How many illegitimate children has this man got?
So there you go. And how I'm going to pick a team captain out of that is anybody's guess, Tom.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss this name? This name should have been first on the list, Joe.
Stephen Wardropper?
No, it's... Oh, I'm not sure now. I saw there's a player from Hong Kong called Chan Chi Chun.
Chan Chi Chan.
But I looked him up on Q Tracker, and in 2025 he lost 4-0 to Jason Tart.
Well, if you're losing Jason Tart from Hazel Irving to Jason Tart, is Jason Tart playing
Jason
this
Tart's
year?
not here, but I think if Jason Tart beat him, we got to stick with that loyalty. So I'm sorry, Chan Chi Chun. You have an amazing name. It sounds like it should be a children's character or something. I like it, but right, okay. Oh, who else? Tempted by Rory McLeod, you know.
Ooh. Yeah, going at it again.
Andrew
He's
Higginson.
55 now, Rory McLeod. Can you get your breath?
I'm less tempted. Oh. I'm going to do, Joe. I'm going to just scroll up and down, and when it stops... No, why has that happened?
Who was it?
Tony Knowles.
Hey, Tony Knowles.
No.
The 70-year-old turned professional back in 1980. He does boast the joint highest ranking of anybody here ever.
Yeah, but that was probably in the bloody 1800s, Joe.
There you go, Tom. So now you have to pick a team captain. So I'll just remind you of your players, Tom.
Oh, please don't.
Got Gong Chenji, Gaurang Vyas, Richard Binns, Ronnie Sullivan, Arseny Korolov, Robert Milkins, Mark Davis, Tony Knowles.
It's got to be the Milkman. Let's go with the Milkman.
The Milkman, Robert Milkins, Milky Milkins, is your team captain. And he will get you double points if and when he wins matches. My team, Tom, I've got Robbie McGuigan, Eric Nagy, Bulshu Ravesh, Bradley Cowdroy, Anurag Sabu, Sanderson Lamb, Aidan Murphy, and Shaun Liu. I mean, I've got a distinct possibility here of none of these qualifying.
What do you mean, mate?
I'm going to pick Bulshu Ravesh to be my team captain. So there you go. There you go. And that is our team. Let us know if you want to pick a team as well. And of course, we will review how we do in the next episode. It's probably the most jokey selection we've ever had, I would say, Tom.
Well, you have chosen a 15-year-old, the youngest player, and I've chosen a 70-year-old, the oldest player, which sums up Q School in many ways.
It does indeed. And what we haven't checked in any of this is whether any of them are playing each other, because we've had that in the past where
no.
our players have knocked out members of their own team. So
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
But that's going to be exciting. So that starts when this comes out, actually. It starts today, and that'll be running over the next couple of weeks. There's only 2 Q School events, I believe, this year. So only 8 tour cards up for grabs.
I'm just enjoying all the names. Sorry,
Tom's enjoying the names, but there you go. So let us know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Get in contact, snookerloopypodcast@gmail.com, and we will be back to review the 2025-26 season in due course. Once Q School is done and dusted, we'll be looking forward ahead to the 2026-27 season and discussing any potential fallout from what happens over the next couple of weeks at Q School. Any final thoughts, Tom?
Come on, Bins. That's all I'm saying, mate. He's going to do it this year.
Well, Tom's got to take the bins out, and I've got to go and make friends with Aidan Murphy and Shaun Liu, and hope that they can come together and make another Shaun Murphy on tour, because we definitely need that, don't we?
Oh, dear.
We will see you on the next one, everybody. Ta-ta for now.